Good evening, welcome to Full Time Reds. It's me again. It's Chris Brack. It's Kev, and we've got Matt as well. Oh, so it finished. Ajax 0, Liverpool 3. Liverpool into the Champions League knockout stages. So much for my 2-2. All nice and easy. What do you think, Kev?
I said last night I fancied a 3-1. I fancied us to go and score goals, but after watching the first 5 minutes, I must admit I was a bit.
We were both a bit edgy, weren't we?
Yeah, that was. Delighted with the result. Happy with the way the performance evolved into. Job done. You know, we're into the knockout stages, which is the aim that you always want. Given the context of the season, I thought over the 93, 94 minutes, we played really well. You know, so it's a difficult place to go. Happy days. I'm over the moon with that. Can't be disappointed at that.
Good. As Red C points out, Juve no move, Barcelona no move, Ajax no move, Atleti no move, Proclaimers on the remix. Bless him. Matt, how you doing?
This is a bit better than last. Hard to be.
Is this better than the last full-time Red you did?
Yeah, just a little bit better than that showery shit that was on Saturday morning. So yeah, it was. I was confident we were going to get the results. You know, it's always nice when you go in knowing that a draw will do you. That you can be kind of confident, and even if you come up a little bit short and only get the draw, it's still exactly what you need. So, but we settled in the second half. Just we're going to get through it, obviously, but just a total change from the team.
Definitely. Kev's clean shave is definitely a good luck charm, according to Paul. Kev, you've got to stay clean. You got to stay clean shaven now, mate, every time until it doesn't work.
Yeah, my missus is going to have a word to say about that, so she's going to win.
Should be fine. Buy her an LFC Daytrippers t-shirt. She'll be happy. Kieran B says, I watched the video after we signed Darwin, and a Benfica fan had made who's saying Darwin's conversion rate is 1 in 3. He might be the one. Give him 3 chances. He should get 1. Yeah, pretty accurate. So, right, let's talk about how the lineups then. So,
well, first things first, Paul Giovanni. What's Matt's shirt? Let's have a look.
It's I believe it's a 10-11 Liverpool home shirt. It used to have 8 and Gerrard on the back, and used to have Carlsberg on the front, but she's been through the wash a couple hundred times. So,
I actually quite like that.
Always makes me think of Torres, that shirt.
Yeah. It's a nice one there.
So let's look at the lineups then. So, Kev, I don't think we got the lineup right, did we? Have we ever got a lineup right yet, Kev?
No.
We should be better at this, really, shouldn't we?
It was a lot more aggressive than I thought it was going to be. He literally went balls out with the lineup, didn't he? He left nothing on the bench, really. You know, he front loaded everything. It was like, if we're going to win this, we're going to win it inside the first 60 minutes. You know, he wasn't leaving anything in the tank to make adjustments later on. It was full on everything up front. Have it, you know, and fair play to him for it, because the safe decision, the easier decision would have been probably Carvalho or Curtis over one of the front four, really. And it wasn't really a front four, was it? It's
a bit of a diamond, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was nuts, to be honest. I mean, Matt, how did you see it with the lineup? How did you think it was going to play when you first saw the lineup?
I thought we were going to get the standard 4-2-3-1 that we've been kind of seeing, with Darwin out on the left for his pace, just to give us, because it feels like we're really missing that, not having, you know, Diaz or last season Mane or even Jota out there, just somebody just to stretch the pitch vertically. And he's so fast. Like Darwin Nunez is disgustingly fast. So I figured they'd bump him out to the left, let Harvey go again on the right, because I think the coaching staff believes in Harvey Elliott in a big way. I think they're ready to give this kid responsibility. And I think, again, he's shown that he's not too small or too young to shoulder that responsibility. But it was about 5 minutes into the game, I made a note that we were definitely playing 4-1-3-2. Bobby had dropped back so far into the midfield. Henderson had pushed way out onto the left-hand side. Harvey was on the right side. And Fabinho was on his own as the lone pivot. And Mo and Darwin were up top, shoulder to shoulder just about. So, yeah, it was a change from even the new formation that we've seen so far.
Yeah,
another new one.
Yeah, Passio says the lineup was fine, but the players were all over the place in the first half. Trent Trent was a centre forward at some point, which he was. Harvey was alongside Fab, and I think at one point Henderson was left wing. I'm all for being fluid, but it was a bit. It felt a bit haphazard.
It was. I remember texting you in the first 20 minutes. I said, "I hate this shape. I hate everything about it. We couldn't get on the ball in midfield. We're constantly outnumbered." And the thing is, it was a 4-4-2 diamond, and that's not a system that you just decide. Okay, tonight we're going to play. It's not like Family Fortunes or anything like that. It's like, a 4-4-2 diamond takes a lot of work and a lot of practice to be able to work patterns of passing. And for the first 20 minutes, we couldn't lift our head up. We couldn't get on the ball. Ajax were everywhere. They were so aggressive in their press. I mean, Jurrien Timber was just an absolute machine. He was everywhere. And we couldn't get out, And inside the first minute, the encouragement that we gave them to keep pressing didn't stop. We gave them that one chance and they got in when they hit the post. It came from a deflection. It was a deflected ball that caught us out. They worked the space well and got the shot off, went off the post. Should have been 1-0. Let's not call us, let's be honest about it. But for that first 20 minutes, we couldn't get out. We couldn't build up any play. Anytime that we tried to hold the ball, it was only around the back four, and it looked like this is going to be a long night.
Yeah, and then there was the other chance where I think Virgil, he claims he gets a push in the back with number 9. I think he's just got to be a bit stronger there or get himself back
I think
into
it's a foul all day, that one.
But then he doesn't get himself back into position. We're left wide open. And to be honest, Tadic has the whole goal to him and manages to crack it right at Trent and Alisson. And luckily, Gomez got back on the line. And we were both going, "Oh, this is a proper rocky 20 minutes. This we could do without that. I could do without this." I was thinking me 2-2 looks pretty safe. This is to
Malcolm with the comment of the night so far.
What's this one? Where's Malcolm? Where is he? Right, okay. Good. Bless him. So, but then after 20 minutes, Liverpool started to get a little bit more control on the ball, a bit more possession, and then the goal comes just before half-time. Perfect time to score a goal, really. Henderson on the left, he played predominantly left tonight, which is not normally his position. He's normally on the right-hand side. Lovely cross with the outside of his boot, and it's a great finish by Mo. He dinks it over. And how did you see it, Matt?
Absolutely sumptuous. It's the sort of pass that if João Cancelo or Kevin De Bruyne makes it, everybody's cooing over it. And it's not the first time, I believe, his with the fourth goal at Old Trafford last year, I think was with the outside of his right foot as well. Like Henderson has the ability to play something other than the big loopy cross from the right-hand side. It was just fantastic. But the game had really kicked off in about the 5 minutes before that. Like after their chance, Darwin gets the elbow in the face and goes down clutching his face a little bit, which, okay, fine. Maybe you can, in a different situation, it might, buy a VAR review and a red card, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it looked. And then Robertson and Bergwijn just seemed like they were going after each other. And then we started going down that side, and that's where the break ends up coming from.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And Mo Salah, he was pretty quiet for most of the first half. I was wondering, is he going to have another one of those halves again? But that's a striker. He makes the perfect angled run and gets to it. Lovely first time finish with the inside of his left foot.
Yeah. Well, I will say, Kev, as good a finish as it is a brilliant finish. If we're doing Ajax full time, you're slaughtering the keeper there.
You have to, don't you? It's just like he was caught in the middle. He was caught in no man's land, but the goal was made by the pass.
Yes,
the pass across with the right pace, the spin on it. It made Mo's life so much. It made his mind up for him, and out of his peripheral vision, he'd have seen the keeper on his strong foot, curled it in lovely. But what Matt was saying about Robertson, when Robertson started going on runs, once we got the confidence, after about the 25th minute, he started adventuring forward a lot more. And that's when the game opened up for us, because we opened up the wings. We weren't so narrow. And everything came from that. I thought Henderson tonight on the left-hand side was really good. it's not his natural position, but he played it really well, and he found himself in really good spaces. That ball is so difficult to play with the right pace, and to be able to do that, given the context of the game that we were really under the cosh, like they were bang up for it. It was just a great pass. For me, the pass made the goal. The goal was, you'd expect Mo to finish it, but that pass, what Matt was saying about if that was De Bruyne or Foden or Bruno or anyone else, you'd be waxing lyrical about that. Yeah, you'd be waxing lyrical about that tomorrow on every radio station, for the next few days. But they won't, it's because
they won't. But then
it is what it is. Then
after Ajax had already missed a
so not only is he not a racist, he can play a beautiful pass.
I was going to come to that later on.
We'll cover that later. So, and then after we've let Ajax miss a sitter, we thought we'd return the favour. Brilliant ball into Bobby. At first, Kev thought, should he shoot first time, Bobby? But then when you look at it thinking, it's the right pass. It's just a horrific finish by Nitz.
It's an awful finish, isn't it?
It's absolute turd of a finish.
Yeah.
And he's still going, oh. And
it was harder to miss it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and you were like...
It was harder to miss it.
That would have killed the game. But if you're being honest, it was a sitter each. Both missed, and both sides had one really big chance. They hit the post of their big chance. Salah takes it. So you go in half time thinking it's a pretty typical away fixture that you see in Europe. We saw a lot of these under like the Rafa days of see out a very hard 20 minutes and try and nick the goal before half time. And you sort of went, it sort of worked for us, because now pressure is on them because they've got to score 3 because they have to get win by 2 goals. Because as you, I think it was you. Lad in the chat last night rightly pointed out the away goal was the factor in the head-to-heads, but it's not in
the head-to-heads.
But it's not in two-legged ties, which is so confusing.
Yeah. For them to basically better the head-to-heads, once we scored, they had to score 3 because we'd already beaten them 2-1 at Anfield. They would have to better that 2-1 result. So that must. If you're on the receiving end of that, 5 minutes before halftime, given the half that they had and the chances that they'd missed, it's a proper sucker punch. They would have gone into halftime, and it could have been 2. It should have been 2. If it had gone in halftime 2-2, there wouldn't have been much of an argument if both sides had taken their chances. We did, they didn't, and it created the fact that they had to come out in the second half and score 3.
Yeah,
that's a completely different game.
Yeah, a lot of love in the chat for Alves of Ajax and your mate. You're a big fan of
You're in Timber, yeah. I thought Timber was really good. The only problem I thought Alvarez gets around the pitch really well. He's a good destroyer. I think his passing is atrocious. Well, I would say let's rephrase that. For the money that Ajax are going to command from for £50 million, his passing isn't there. The rest of his game is good. His passing isn't there. You wouldn't feel comfortable if he was your deep lying centre mid, getting the ball, receiving it, and playing passes to get you on the offense on the other side. I think at the top end, he gets found out. It's good. You can get away. You can look at it really good in the Eredivisie, but when you're in Europe, you get found out with stuff like that. I thought some of his work in breaking up play and pressing was good, was really good. But the other side of it, I think, was a problem. Timber, on the other hand, is 21 years of age, and I think he's wasted a centre-back. He's such a good footballer. So quick, so aggressive, smart, intelligent with the ball. Probably best suited to a back 3. As a right centre back. Do you remember how Sheffield United used to play with the overlapping centre backs?
Yes, I remember that.
A creative 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. Someone who would allow that flexibility within a system to be able to do something like that. I think he'd be nuts. I think he'd be absolutely nuts.
3 at the back talk. I like it.
Yeah, but he's that type of player. He's that type of modern centre back, kind of like Jules Koundé is as well. That is a footballer who can defend, but has the mentality of a forward. So I think, look, just see how his game develops over time and where he ends up. But I don't think he'd be something that we would be going for unless we were replacing a senior centre back.
Which is fair.
Which we're going to have to do. Matip needs to be replaced eventually.
But if you look, it'd be a show. Let's put it that way. It'd be an interesting show. I thought he was their standout tonight. Brobry was good.
I thought Brobby in the first 20 minutes when I felt they came for us. Like, it felt like their game plan was we need to get an early goal, get the crowd into it, and see where it takes us from there. And there was a couple of times where Brobby just posted up Van Dijk, just used his strength in his frame to keep Van Dijk off. Like, their chance in the first 2 minutes of the game that goes off at the post, Virgil is completely blocked out of defending that situation by Brobby. He just absolutely manhandled him. He did it to Gomez a couple of times, coming and challenging for balls in that half space between the midfield and the attack. And then, like a lot of their team, just disappeared.
Yeah, he's very young.
As soon as the goal went in.
Yeah, he's very young. And I think it's his first real season. So the jury's going to be out on him for a while. But reminds me an awful lot of Mikel Antonio. That kind of frame, that strength and power. Maybe there's an argument to be said that he's probably a bit too big, if you know what I mean. Physically, he could probably
10,
do with
15, lean up a little.
He could probably do with losing half a stone and see if he can improve his mobility a little bit. But I thought technically on the ball he was quite good. But again, another one. You're going to want to watch and see how he develops in the Europa League, and maybe even next season, see what happens with him. But yeah, he was okay.
Cool. So then second half kicks off, and I think it was within 4 minutes. Darwin breaks down the wing. He scuffs his cross, and the keeper palms it behind for a corner. Robbo takes it, and Matt, cracking header for Nunes. That's now 4 goals in his last 4 starts. He may miss a few, but he is starting to get that consistent run, and he's starting to become the consistent goal threat that we all hoped we were signing. 4 and 4, you can't really complain with, but it's a great header.
Yeah, it's a brilliant center forward play by him. Like, to win the corner in the first place, it shows that he knows where the goal is. Like, was it a shot? Was he trying to sneak it in at the near post? Well, he doesn't look up, but I mean, a striker knows where that goal frame is, so he wins the corner just off of pure instinct. But like, I loved his game. Just in general, I thought he was just busy, constantly closing down their goalkeeper. Like every goal kick, every time the ball went back to their keeper, he was chasing after them. And the strength he showed to claw away from the 2 men from Ajax that were all over him on the corner, to get in front of both of those guys when they were just hands all over him, like 4 hands all over him. And he just powers through and puts the neat little header on it, tuck the ball into the bottom corner. That's the sort of thing that made people think, hey, this guy could score, 30 goals in a season for Liverpool, sort of thing. So happy days. Good to have him back. Missed him badly on Saturday.
He was missed, wasn't
he?
Yeah. Dan Austin says Klopp explained Darwin's miss as typical Bobby. The pass probably surprised Darwin as well as the opposition. Just throw Bobby under the bus there, just in case.
The pass was so good. The thing is, granted, it was on his weaker foot, but
he should.
We're
all being nice, but you expect.
We're not being that nice. I'll tell you, if that game ends in a wrong result, we're not being nice. I guarantee you. That is one you have to score. But the strength, the delivery from Robbo, the camera angle that they showed the curl on it and how flat it was. It was just there to be got, and it was pure aggression. And I might have missed one. I'm not missing this. And it was almost like pure hate that get out of my way. I'm getting this. And buried it into the corner. Brilliant. That's a proper striker's goal. That's a proper centre forward striker. Bullying people out of the way. Bang, have it.
Yeah, Klopp said on Nunes, he played with a big heart today. He was really, really good. I think we took him off early enough. But we'll come to the substitutes because, as always, the world that is social media, they don't like the fact that that's what we'll come to that. And then I think we talk about, if I'm honest, goal of the game. Salah gets it deep, great inside pass, goes to Elliott, and I think I messaged you, Kev, said That's the best Davering goal I've ever seen in my life. He absolutely lamped that with his right. It's a great finish. And again, nice for him. That's 2-2 now in Europe. Good for him. Again, difficult away game, something he can learn from. And he's starting to add goal, adding a few more goals to his game. Lovely finish though, Kev.
He's one of these kids that I still think his best position is on the left. I'd like to see him try it on the left, but it just goes to prove that he's well capable of using his right foot, because that was as clean a hit as you're likely to see. Because when it went in, I was like, did he miss it?
I thought
just spun in around the net, and it was like, no, that went in. And I was just sat there. I was like, wow. That was one of those wow goals. You know what I mean?
I did think at first it was side net, and you went, I then went, how's he got that? When you see the angle, you're thinking, fair dues, like, and then you knew then we had like 25 minutes left, Matt, and you're going, it's game over, because it's like we ain't even as bad as we've been this year. I can't see us because we're not going to see 5. So you go, this is a perfect 20 minutes, because literally as soon as Elliott scores, Darwin's whipped off for Jones. To give Jones a bit of a run out, get minutes in his belt. The lad's just back from a hamstring injury, so it makes sense to set Darwin. No point running him into the ground and risk a re-aggravation. So it's quite nice having like 25 minutes and going, this is quite comfortable now. I think I was too busy flicking on my phone for the last 20 minutes. I was quite relaxed. Trying to go, don't really care.
Yeah, you can catch up with the chat that you've missed, because the first 5 minutes of the half were pretty frantic. It was pretty easy to let things go by. But game over is what I wrote. Like, before the goal even, it was Harvey to Trent, to Harvey to Trent, and then Mo. And Mo plays that amazing reverse ball, and it sees the run. Like, it looked like something off the training pitch. Like, it looked like a set movement that they had done where Harvey and Trent exchange those passes. It goes to Mo, and Harvey takes that run, and Mo just knows to look for him, because his head isn't really looking in that direction. Like, Mo's looking towards the center of the park, and he just, like a Thiago-esque almost pass. Just lovely. So then that was it. I mean, if this was a game at Old Trafford, they would have started clearing out of that place as soon as that goal went in. So, credit to the Ajax fans for sticking around until about 75, 80 before they started failing.
They left it there for 5 minutes and went, what enough there now. So, as Dan Austin points out, top finishes from Mo, Darwin eventually, and Elliott. They're all three of them really good finishes.
They were good goals.
And then, as you and me both said, Kev, get the clean sheet. Let's just get another. Then it's 3 clean sheets in the last 4. So again, it just builds that confidence. Because I thought after the opening 20 minutes, defensively, I thought we did all right tonight. But Trent did okay. Gomez, I think is probably a performance he needed, because he wasn't great against Nottingham Forest. And Virgil, again, probably a performance he needed because he wasn't great. Aside from the over 20 minutes, which as a team we weren't fantastic, but from 20 onwards, I thought there were a lot more control, and defensively we were okay. They still had chances, and I think you've never got to stop our hopes on getting chances, but there weren't many like really big saves where you thought, Christ, that's a big moment.
No, they had their flurry at the start, and after the first 15, 20 minutes, that was it. It was like we kept them at arm's length for the rest of the game. And they're Ajax, for God's sake. Technically a really good, solid side, and with players who can play. But in general, I thought we managed it. We managed it really well, especially in the second half. We managed that second half perfectly. The changes that were made, everyone that came in contributed. They were all good performances. Stefan Bacecek came in, and he just looked like, just give me the ball. Don't care where I am, give me the ball, and I want it. And he made use of it. He didn't give it away. He looked after it. Exactly what you want to see. So Curtis looked good when he came on. He was around the pitch. He was busy. He was strong on the ball. Tsimikas was late, obviously. The one thing I liked, actually, I seen a lot of people, and look, I completely get it, that they'd like to see Calvin come in. Calvin Ramsey to get his debut in Europe, but there was no gimmies tonight. Klopp took this seriously all the way through. Every change that was made with a purpose, and there was no gimmies off the bench. There was no sympathetic subs. He brought on Tsimikas for Robertson for the last 5-10 minutes just to see it out, and it was a perfect away performance. You know, we rode out the storm in the first 20 minutes, grew into the game, and then bossed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was good because we didn't have to worry about, we didn't have to throw on a cold Ibu. So Ibu can now get another 3 or 4 days training, and maybe Ibu comes in against Leeds.
Against Leeds, yeah.
But he's not coming in cold. He's coming in off like a full week's training then. Paul Smith said, Jones did more in the short period on the pitch than Elliott. The only thing Elliott did was score. Matt, do you want to take that?
Mate, Paul.
Yeah,
sorry,
I'll take that. I believe the word I'm looking for is poppycock. I don't know. I thought Harvey Elliott was fantastic today. The energy that he shows getting back defensively, like he's not a lazy flair offensive player that they get upfield and the ball gets turned over and they go, oh, well, shucks darn, and they don't bust their ass and get back. I'm consistently impressed with his commitment to maintaining the shape of the team and getting himself back into position. I saw it in who did we play in that goofy second friendly this year after we played one? We played another one 24 hours later, Toulouse.
Strasbourg. I think.
Did we play Strasbourg in the second game? He ran the whole 90 minutes just up and down. I thought, well, yeah, you know, that bodes positive from somebody that's supposed to have all this offensive skill and be creative going forward, that he's still putting in the work in a completely meaningless friendly game, you know, before the season's getting started. And to me, that's just carried over all season. I'm an unabashed fan of Harvey Elliott. I think he's going to be a fantastic, fantastic player for Liverpool. As somebody said earlier in the chat, like you can see the passion that he has for it. Like it seems like it just means that little bit more for him. And, you know, when you see the pictures of him with his family at the final in Kiev, you can kind of understand it. He is a Liverpool fan, and that's fantastic to see. So I don't agree with Paul's comment really at all.
Well, I just wanted to double check something there. Won every ground duel. He was fouled twice. His 2 shots. One, they both worked the keeper. One was a goal. He wasn't dispossessed in the game at all. He had 83% passing success, 42 touches, 1 successful dribble. It was all in all, I think they got him as an 8.2, but a lot of that would have been the goal. It was a good solid 7 out of 10 for someone who was playing, again, at 19 years of age, away in Europe for a side that had to get a result. You know, the pressure was on tonight because of the situation with the group. Did not want to be going into the last game, you know, needing anything. So every single one of them turned up tonight. You know, there was nobody let anyone else down. I get people don't like him. That's fine. But when someone has a good game, they have a good game. You know, it's not either or for me. It's if someone has a good game, he's a good game. If he had a bad game, more than happy to say it. But
and to be fair to Paul, I like Curtis Jones after he came on.
Yeah.
I thought Curtis Jones looked really good. Like after we made the raft of changes at the 70th minute, I think we pretty clearly switched back to a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Where Bajcetic sat at the base of the midfield. Cujo went out onto the right. Milner took up on the left. Fabio Carvalho played left wing. Bobby and Mo finished it up top. And I thought out of those 3 midfielders, I thought Curtis Jones was the most assured of them. I mean, Milner did Milner things, and Bajcetic is still a young kid, but he looks promising. So, great.
Milner got absolutely floored as well. Did you see that? He was running across. Timber come across him, and he was like, he absolutely floored Milner. Milner turned around to the ref. He was like, what?
Do you know, though,
nothing given. Like,
deep down, though, I bet your Miller's gone, quite enjoyed that, though.
It's
probably built in. But yeah, I was going to say, you know, I don't fully agree with Paul's guy, but it's not to disparage Curtis Jones. I actually thought Curtis Jones
did well. I like Curtis a lot. I agree with Paul on Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones is an absolute. He's a proper squad player at the minute with a ceiling to go up. He can get better, and he will get better as he gets older, as he understands his game better. You know, he needs to
run a fitness. He does need a bit of luck with fitness.
He needs to stay fit for a while, and it's not about starts. It's about minutes on the pitch. Be it off the bench, starting a few games, back on the bench, starting again. You know, just a squad role. Stay fit. That's all he has to do. Stay fit.
Because I like
the rest will take care of itself.
Because I like Jones on the left-hand side when he comes off the bench. I think that sort of suits him because he gives us that solidity.
Speaking of players coming off the bench, I'll ask you, Chris. Carvalho.
Yeah, do you know what? I've said this a few times. I've not been a fan of Carvalho starting, but I think he's a perfect sub. because he's really good at picking up the speed of the game, coming on sub, which I think in itself is a big skill. He just gives us energy and he just has something about him. But I always think it has to be him or Elliot at the moment. I think playing both at the moment is a little bit too inexperienced and unbalanced us. But I liked him. I think he's got that. He's got the potential to do that continuous pass in him. He's got that sort of ceiling in his locker. He's not there. He's obviously nowhere near that level yet. But no, I was every time he said they're bringing Carvalho on, I get quite excited because I always feel like he's going to do something.
No, I agree. Yeah, he's another one. When people, we talk about the business and we deride some of the business that we did in the summer. We don't know about Calvin Ramsey yet, but I think getting Carvalho in for the fee that we did could easily turn out to be an absolute masterstroke. But that's a great comment from Dad there.
Milner got badly fouled. The only thing missing was the folding chair, WWE US style.
Yes, I think
Dan Austin 316. There we go. We've spoken.
One thing that I would like to point out, just because I know it's the fashion to bash him for his defensive work, but there was a couple times towards the end, the second half, that Trent's defensive positioning was absolutely spot on. Just absolutely spot on. I mean, he was there for the block in the first half when they had that chance where it looked like Allison saved it, but it actually seemed like it came off Trent's thigh. But I am 68th minute. Tadic gets past Robertson, crosses it back to the penalty spot. They shoot over, and Trent's right there closing the man down. Like he had recognized the danger, come in, put the pressure on the man, forced him to take the shot early, and he put it over. And then there's 85th minute, the Taylor who had come on for Ajax, Trent actually decided to physically challenge somebody. Like I noticed in the first half that Tadic was just putting his back to Trent, and Trent was doing nothing. Like he wasn't backing off, he wasn't trying to engage him, and he was just letting Tadic move around with the ball. That Trent actually went and engaged with the ball, and that's where the Ajax player went over and grabbed the ball, and the referee rightly just went, "No, that's a handball. Like that was not a foul. You don't just get to fall down."
What's so funny with that handball is you can see the guy in the crowd knows it's a handball, and he's more angry with the Ajax player than not getting the free. He's like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. Jake asks, I'll start with you, Kev. Thoughts on Bajetic? I always get his name wrong.
Yeah,
he's not. Is he 18 yet?
17 or 18. Yeah, he's only a young kid. But you don't often see a young player coming into that number 6 role at this level that young and be that assured on the ball. And he looks like a proper footballer, doesn't he? He just looks like one of these players that he's another one off the conveyor belt that if he develops in the way that we hope he does, he's going to save us a fortune. That's the hope with these players. The Elliots, the Carvalhos, the Bajaceks.
Thanks, Red
Curtis Jones.
Just call it Badger, Chris.
Badger, yeah. But all of these young kids, the hope is that these are going to save you 50 million quid, every single one of them. And that's more money that can be reinvested elsewhere. We did it with Joe Gomez as the prime example. Joe Gomez was a £6 million signing from Charlton at the time.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, 3.5 million rising with add-ons and everything, but it was 6 million quid as far as it's just a figure that sticks in my head. Replace him in the squad now as a third or fourth choice centre back.
English.
You're talking 45, 50 million, 60 million being English.
English, yeah.
So that's how we've managed to be able to compete for the last 4 or 5 years with the likes of Man City, is boxing clever in the transfer market. It just might be we have to wait for them to come of age at the minute. But when they do,
our transfer work we've done is great, but not for this year.
Yeah, you can see where it's going.
Yeah, it's just like the issue I think with the team is that the older players have just had a collective drop of form. Now, whether that's a temporary drop of form or whether some of them you fear, Fabinho's legs are gone or Henderson's legs are gone, that we're not able to bridge that gap that we talked about all summer where there's the 30-year-old players and the 20-year-old players, and we got nothing in between. If we can get another year or two out of that old cadre of players, we've set ourselves up brilliantly Yeah, to me, I think it's a calculated risk that the team took, and it's kind of backfired this season.
The crazy thing is, I think there's a Sorry, Chris. I think there's a crossover with Thiago and his father.
There is.
His father and Thiago's father played together, and Thiago has known him since he was since he was a baby. So he's been aware of him for a long time, and you can almost see that he's modeled his game on the likes of Thiago, with his passing, with his vision. His head is on a swivel all the time, and he's got nothing but time on his side. And one thing is, as long as Klopp's at the helm, Klopp will be patient with him. He doesn't bring just anyone off the under-23s into the first team squad and keep them around, let alone bring them on. And this is his second appearance now in the Champions League,
But I do think there is a clamour for him to play more, and I think that's where we've got to be careful with him, because I think Klopp's bringing him on at the right times. Bring him on at 3-0 up. Bring him on at, when the games are pretty much won, or when he's got a lot of experience. The big plus for him tonight was we took off our two most experienced centre mids in Henson and Fabinho, and he sat with a very experienced James Milner, but who's aging, and a young Curtis Jones. So again, it wasn't like he was given a platform of stand next to Fabinho, who'll talk you through a game, or Thiago will look after you. So, but I think that's the way you've got to use Bajcetic, is bring him on at 3-0, bring him on at 2-0. You don't want to be doing what we did to Port Alamorton, which was, we're in the shit, lads. You need to start away at Spurs, and you've only played. You've only played 2 games. Doesn't help him though, because if it doesn't work out well, everyone slaughters him, and he's written off before he starts, and also that kills his confidence as well. So
I agree with what Emmett said there. Actually, I think he is a first team player, and I don't think you'll see him in the under-21s again. I think what you might do is maybe next season you might see him go on loan.
I think so,
and it wouldn't be the worst idea. But saying that, that's down the line. At the minute,
depends how Tyler Morton's loan move works out.
And it looks like it's doing really well. Mm-hmm. It looks like he's doing really, really well. They're really happy with him. So,
and Red Steve points out Milner was a babysitter. He was too busy going around slapping people. But so they must trust. But do you know what I mean? It's the right situation to bring him in. I think it'd be cruel to throw him on with 10 minutes to go and it's 1-1. Old out, lad. I think that's where it's a bit harsh. League Cup's probably good. I'd give him a League Cup start though. Tom Boland saying, I was watching Paramount Plus USA and the commentators were moaning about our defence being so deep a few weeks ago. It was too high up. No pleasing some commentators. No, listen, commentators got to find something to moan about. But I mean, rather than that, I had the joys of Steve McManaman again, who for 10 minutes.
I think it was Andy Townsend.
Yeah, but for 10 minutes, Steve McManaman was talking about how quiet Henson had been. He'd already been subbed off, but he's still telling me Henson was quiet in the game. I'm going, it's a bit hard when the lad's on the bench, So,
but the one thing I'd say about the line tonight, we cut him offside once or twice. We didn't need to win the game. We didn't need to chase the game. It wasn't too deep. It wasn't high. It was right where it needed to be to not give them space in behind or encouragement to play through balls over the top, but high enough that it gave you a chance to recover if you needed to. We could be like Joe Gomez tonight. Once he got the first 5 minutes out of his system, he was the more aggressive centre-back. They came down his side. He was going out to meet the ball and to break up play and to set us on the attack more. So Virgil was around on the cover an awful lot for him. But that line tonight, to me, was exactly where you want it to be, given the context of the game and what we needed to achieve. The last thing you want is someone like Bergwijn with space to run into and someone like Berghuis to find him or Tadic to find him, because he's more than capable. Yeah. So I think we got that bang on right.
While we're on the defence, somebody made their 200th appearance for Liverpool tonight. Allison, I was convinced he'd already made 200 appearances. It feels like he's been here forever. That's now his 90th clean sheet in 200 games, which is a bit of a mad stat.
That's mental. That's a stat, mate. First show.
Yeah,
I love it when you guys do preparation for these shows. I love it.
I mean, to be fair, Liverpool have actually tweeted it 10 minutes ago. So,
it's research.
Take the credit. Take the
credit and shut up.
If I'm being fair.
No, a better one was it was Jordan Henderson's 250th game as captain tonight.
Yeah, and it was Milner's 50th game in the Champions League for Liverpool. So it's a few.
And Salah's only one goal behind Gerrard
for the all. Yeah, one more. And he's on 40 goals as well for Europe. No, that's for all-time Europe.
In Europe, yeah, in Europe.
Yeah.
Did Salah pass Drogba for most African goals in the Champions League?
No, he's still
44. He needs to get to that.
I think he's still two behind.
Yeah, so
he's not a hat trick against Napoli, and he passes them both.
Bingo. Yeah. I got to say, Kev, huge credit to you. I thought Kudus was unbelievable when he came on.
Yeah.
I thought Kudus looked great for Ajax. I mean, the game was gone at that point, but man, he showed for the ball. He was happy to dribble through our midfield, had an eye for a pass. Really
he's not a 9, is he, though? And I think they wanted to play with a striker, a focal point striker, to bring everyone on around him. I think he'd struggle playing as a 9, especially in the Premier League. He's not physically big and strong enough.
Deep, a lot.
Yeah. I think as a second striker, what Bobby does, that kind of second striker, a 10 maybe, but second striker, I think he's a hell of a talent. He's got everything in his locker, that kid.
Yeah. Cool. Sam Tandy saying Salah will break the records when he knocks Real Madrid out in the next round. I'm just hoping we can. It'd be quite nice to avoid that.
What a Valentine's Day that would be.
Yeah. We've already one big win on Valentine's Day. Was it Porto a few years ago? Not 5-0.
5, yeah.
So
well, you got the way you got to look at it in the Champions League. If we do finish second in the group, who the hell is going to want to draw us? Grant, even if we have to go away for the second leg, we are going to be the absolute top of the who needs them club.
Yeah. Plus the other thing is
the Champions League.
We all view it in the prism of now, which is we're quite erratic. February's a long way away, and we've seen a few times teams that look brilliant qualifying, and then they lose all sort of form in February. And January's going to be an interesting one because with Juventus, Madrid, and Barca all not qualifying for the Champions League, I would think they were banking financially to get to the knockout stages. So
Juve and Barca definitely.
So you do wonder you could see a little bit of a fire sale in January for some of those, and it's where they go. So they could go and strengthen, more for Bayern Munich or Club Brugge or those sort of teams as well. Jake's put another update from Klopp. Klopp and Henderson, he's okay as far as I know. It's a bruise, nothing else. I think that was
that was the clash of knees, the knee on knee. That was the kind of one you hate to see because even though it's innocuous, that's the kind of thing where it could develop fluid on the knee. You don't really want to see that. But look, you fingers crossed he comes through it okay, because I think it'll be a case he might need to go again at the weekend.
Yeah. Bonkers saying man of the match for him was Robbo, but honorable mentions for Nunez and Henderson. Yeah, Robbo was really good today.
Yeah, Robbo was good.
Who's your man of the match?
I'm going to be boring. I think it was probably Andy Robbo. So his delivery for the corner was brilliant, but he's up and down. His aggressive nature with Bergwijn really just knocked him out of the game completely. He gave him one nice early knee into the back. A seasoned defender absolutely loves to do to a winger. So you want to drive your backside into me, have that. And he lit that quietened Bergwijn down for the rest of the game. And then Robertson got on his bike and he was up and down that wing, linking play up. He got in, he had a chance as well, but with Robbo, his shooting is just not there. I love him and all that, but he wasn't born to take shots.
Unfortunately, Tsimikas hasn't got that skill either. I think the left backs.
Yeah, he haven't, to be fair. But yeah, I was really, really happy with him. And I was happy for him because he's been under the cosh with a lot of people for a while, talking about him and Tsimikas. I mean, to be honest, I think Andy Robertson is levels ahead of Tsimikas. And I like Tsimikas. I think Tsimikas is a good, solid backup left back for a top club. He could go and play for pretty much any side in the Europa League and down and be a starting fullback. But he will get plenty of game time at Liverpool. And I don't think you get another chance. It helps a lot.
That 5 subs helps give opportunities to players, and also keeps players interested. So you know you're gonna play.
But yeah, I was really, really impressed with him. Honourable mention for me, I think Fabinho, given again once he got the first 5 minutes out of his system and he got to grips with the system that we were playing in, he looked good. He looked a lot better, a lot more aggressive, and snide tackles when he needed a snide tackle with a smile. His passing was fine. He was taking the ball in good areas and distributing it well. Yeah, given the how lax he looked at the weekend against Forest, I thought he was good. I was really happy for him as well.
Santana with another Robbo shout. The other thing I feel sorry for Robbo is we only have a wheel him out for interviews when we just took a bad result. He has to say saying 3 lines every time. I feel sorry for him for that. Jonathan's gone for Salah man of the match, goal and an assist.
Yeah.
Salah was good. Nunez, I thought was lively. Matt, who have you gone for?
I got it to Darwin Nunez. I've seen just by scrolling through, the only social media I use is Reddit, and it seems that Darwin's nickname is the Agent of Chaos, and it's fitting because he kept running and running and running all night, and he was there when we needed him to. Like, even when he had the miss, big smile on his face afterwards. He's not throwing his hands up and being all upset and letting it throw his game off. So I'm really hoping that stupid red card at the game I was fortunate enough to be at will be an early lesson in his Liverpool career. Something that could have happened 2 seasons in, but it happened 2 games in. And he's going to learn from that and get more mature, because the more I see him, the more he really, really excites me, because that's the future. I mean, that's the guy that's going to be leading Liverpool's front line for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years if we're lucky. So I really liked it. I liked his performance again. Happy to have him back because we're going to ride him until the World Cup, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'll try something different now because the answer probably is Andy Robertson, but I think I'll give it to Bobby. I thought Bobby really grew into the game. I thought he was involved in everything that was good for Liverpool, and honourable mention to Nunez. And to be fair, honourable mention to Gomez, because he had a rough time against Forest. And look, you've got to adapt to what's in front of you, and I thought he did that pretty well, to be honest. So, right.
Bobby's pass deserved a finish. If Darwin takes that chance, that assist from that move, the whole move, everything about it was just fucking brilliant.
Have you seen his reaction to the miss though?
I did. I thought it was hilarious.
He is all of us going, how have you done that? Bless him. He's so funny. I love Bobby. Right, so I think that's all done for the night, really. Anything else you want to bring up, Matt or Kev?
No, all good, man. Big show coming tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Make sure you guys like the channel, obviously. Subscribe, but hit the bell icon. Make sure you got that bell icon on. Big show coming tomorrow night.
Yeah, I've been doing some prep work.
FSG show tomorrow. Actually, who's on the show? Do you know?
No, I have no idea who's on the show. I know that I'm hosting it, so I've been doing my diligent prep work of putting together a timeline of FSG as our owners. So,
shit, Bejan, how you doing, buddy?
Good show. Ireland battered England in the cricket
Ireland
as well.
beat England in the T20 World Cup.
I saw the highlights
this morning.
By the way Ireland played, much deserved.
Well, I think if we beat Afghanistan at the weekend, we have a real chance of getting into the semi-final.
Should be good.
Real chance.
Really good. I think. Wow. I don't know who England have got next. I'm sure I'll find out when I get a message.
I think England.
Nothing better in sports than when England loses. It's the best.
I think England have Australia, and I think it's a must win.
Yeah, because Australia.
Yeah, they're both in trouble. Yeah.
So, that makes it exciting. I might actually watch that one.
Might actually get up for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one is LFC women won 4-0 away at Leicester in the Conti Cup now, so that's 2 wins out of 2 in the Conti Cup. Fingers crossed we'll get a couple of wins in the league soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed. They need to get back to some kind of winning form.
Yeah,
it's tough. WSL is not a.
I think me and you spoke pre-season. I said we got City this weekend, and I said it was pretty much a rock hard start. I said they'll do well to get many points from there. So to be fair, they beat Chelsea, which is a very big,
massive shock,
surprise. But I think after City, they are going to start playing the sides that are in and around a la Leicester. So that is your opportunity, I think, then to gain your points. And the only good thing for them is they'll be keeping themselves in games against quite good, some really good sides. So, look, I still think they'll stay up, but I just think we always knew the season was going to be a tough one. But listen,
yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
4-0 against a fellow WSL side in the cup. Can't complain, really. So we've got the FSG show on Thursday. Kev is back on Friday
night
with Luke. I'm having the weekend off, so that'll be enjoyable for you.
Yeah,
that'll be enjoyable for you. Who we got on the show? Kev was on Friday.
So far, there's myself, there's Luke, Oscar from All Leeds TV. We're going to talk everything about the game Saturday night, late Saturday night. It's a late kickoff Saturday night, since 7:45 kickoff UK time, and we have a guy coming on as well from the Brighton. He's a Brighton fan channel. Albion Obsessed, because they're welcoming Graham Potter back with Chelsea this weekend. So that would be a tasty one. I want to see how what kind of reception Graham Potter is going to get, and what's going on with Brighton with the new manager since they got their draw against us. They don't seem to be able to get a win against anyone. Kevin, so there's lots to chat about.
Kev, are you in charge of the LFC Daytrippers messages, are you? Hit the like button or I'll take my shirt off. Trust me, there's no chance of that. No.
Nobody needs to see that. Nobody needs to see that.
I'll get demonetized for that. And then Saturday, I should be some more phases. And then on Saturday, it's you again, Kev, doing the leads.
Myself and Matt.
Reds. There we go.
Myself and Matt.
And then we start cycle again with full time with Fatback 4 on Sunday. So nice and easy. Right. Until then, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe and leave your comments post-match, because we do read them as well. Yeah. Right. Until then, take care of yourselves. Speak soon.
Good night, guys.